that I hope we address with this new battery system. So that's all. I just drew this up and I would like everybody to go through them. And we don't have to discuss them tonight, but I want this on our radar, so to speak, and in the boards. I don't know if I copied enough of them. So we don't have to go through these tonight. We'll read them at your. These are some concerns that we had at the first go around. I copied a lot off of this one, and then some of the stuff that the firemen were asking at this meeting, and just the notes that I took during that meeting. I just wrote down some of the stuff onto here. So these were concerns for the first project. I have no idea where we're at on this second project with water containment, gravel. No idea, but it's coming. So,
have they, Lorelei, has the new solar developer like gave concrete plans about how many batteries? You know, the individual said
Yeah,
that they were
it was
considering
all in the
it.
contract.
So what is it? Can I ask?
You can ask, but I don't have the contract in front of me.
Okay.
How about containment? Is the containment mentioned in the contract?
I don't have that information in front of me. Sorry.
well, we
And
can
that's
look
a
at this
contract
the
with-
next meeting.
Yeah.
Is that a
Yeah, put
contract
this on
with
for next
the
meeting.
town?
I think we got
It
that
was
what
a
you're-
contract.
get at
It's the same as the original contract when Rob was here before. It's the same one, except they added battery storage into that contract.
But my question was, is that contract with the town or is
Yeah.
it with who they're developing for, with the town?
Yeah.
So we can bring that to the next meeting then to look at it?
I have covered it.
Thank you.
You can, you gotta digitally send it.
I would appreciate that if it could be sent.
Are you?
It's
asking
actually
me-
on the website.
Well,
It's on there. It is.
I
on
click
there.
on the
So-
first one is a lot more detailed than the second one.
The second one. I don't know if you can get on that.
I could get on the first one, I didn't.
Yeah, the second one.
It just shows in Invenergy or whatever it is on the second one. Doesn't really.
It doesn't give you anything.
So in the solar project we have now with that agreement, is there, I mean, is there battery storage and are they violating
Yes,
that
no, there's
agreement?
battery storage in both of them.
And but they're not violating what the agreement said. Okay. So you're talking more like for the new one that's. the-
Yeah, the Saratoga,
Okay,
That's the second one.
okay.
and there's no.
But the
Just-
verbiage is fairly close in both of them.
If I remember right, the first one didn't have verbiage. We came back. And there was an
Yeah,
amendment.
there was an amendment
There was an amendment
to the original
first
one, yeah, because it
and the-
wasn't, that didn't come in. Didn't the state mandate battery storage? And that's why they came back in?
The first one,
Yes.
I wasn't here for the first one, but the second one, it was included in the contract.
Yes, it was in the first one, but you're in right in the contract. But for some reason, I thought that the state came in and said that because of the demand that they wanted battery storage on all
It seems like
complexes.
that, I remember something,
Because that's why they came back in and said that,
Hmm?
that they wanted to amend it
Well, I
and
don't
have
know.
the
This
battery
is just a
storage added.
presentation. This isn't the G.
So the state kind of dictated.
Yeah.
the state
We
dictates
couldn't do
pretty
anything
much
about it.
everything,
Yeah.
yeah. But this one, it was in the contract,
Yeah,
And-
it was written right in.
yeah.
I think it's,
And
Even
we
the last
didn't know
paragraph.
how many there were, and they are a lot less than the original one, but I don't know the exact number. I'm
Would
gonna
we-
say with the first one, wasn't there like 96 or 98, and with this one, there's 56?
67, she said on the.
60.
Oh,
in
67.
October.
She didn't-
But that's
I
gonna
don't know.
change, you know that, that's gonna.
But
But
that
it would
might
be
be-
interesting to see if it does change, if we are now putting in a data storage operations ordinance, which is going to, you know,
And-
discourage
And
data
I,
coming in. I mean, that's what those battery storages are used for.
Well, it also.
along
levels off
with
power.
solar
Yeah.
and wind, data is right with them they're all in the same energy. That's why Larry could not help review this ordinance.
Right.
So I would assume that they would be knocking at the door if we don't get this in. That's my assumption. Because we have the water, we have the ATC new grid, we have the solar, and we don't just have a solar. Look at all the solar around us.
And I think it would be in the town board's best interest to be communicating with the town board of Rome and town board of Grant.
The town board of Rome doesn't want to talk to us. That would be really great.
Well, I mean, even just to propose that this is what we're doing regarding an operations ordinance for these types of facilities, because if you don't, there's gonna be more coming in and they're gonna end up in their backyard. I mean, I would think, as a collective
when
group,
we
we want
were-
to be communicating with them.
Solar was knocking at the door. I talked to Rome and I said, this is what's going on here. You guys should, maybe take stock. And they pretty much said, we are a retirement recreational community. They're not going to want to come in here. So basically, shut up and go away. And then when they started getting solar, they came knocking at the door. What can we do? Work with them, not against them, because you work against them, you're not going to get anywhere because the state mandates are coming in. Again,
I still just think it would be in our best interest, because we're trying to,
be proactive.
be
I
proactive,
agree.
to encourage them also. Because, until Rob first brought this to us, how many, 2 or 3 months ago, it wasn't on any of our radars. And then we all started looking into it and it was like a holy crap situation. Let's get this taken care of. They may need somebody to be giving them that information as well. And if we can take this whole area and kind of cut it off at the knees or make it a non reasonable place profitable or reasonable place to come. I mean, it's in everybody's best interest. So I just would like to see that olive branch or communication extended to our neighbors.
I just want to make sure that this battery storage is safe for the fire department, the emergency response people, and we're gonna have a situation where they're gonna have to, these aren't gonna last forever. One of them, they're all cooled with air conditioning units. We're gonna have 140 of them. What's the chances of one of the home air conditioners quit and it's gonna overheat and cause a problem? So it's inevitable something's gonna happen at some point. The amount of water they have to spray, we have to make sure that this new project has a water containment and a runoff containment so that it's contained, water's contained. The fellow that put on this after they put him in on the gravel, he said, well, if we have a problem and we have to spray water, we'll dig that all up and reclaim it and deal with the contaminated material after. And that's not acceptable at all. You can't do that. You can't reclaim that contaminated material out of that sand and out of the gravel. And you're not going to dig between all these batteries to gravel out. You're not going to move all the batteries. So they either have to be put on blacktop concrete or have a rubber bladder on them and some drains that run into
I think there was some discussion about bladder.
for the first one.
Yeah.
But I don't think anything happened. I mean, do we even know if there's a retaining pond at the one that we have right now? There's a hydrant there. Is there a hydrant there? Is it regulated for the fire equipment? Is there?
Well, I know,
You have to talk to Mike on that one.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff we don't know about the first one, and now we're doing another one.
and I know Mike has been talking to solar.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
I see him down at coffee every now and then.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure we're ahead of this, try to be ahead of it anyways, and know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, I do know that their pump, their well for the fire department is set up so it takes power not off the site, but from off-site.
Sure.
That I do know they
That's
have
good
to do
then.
that, because they have to run a separate supply to run the pump
Sure.
in case there's an emergency on site. That I remember seeing.
Is there a way to find out how the first one was constructed? For example, if there was a bladder underneath or what's underneath? Only because if you do have an emergency, they're gonna need to know. I mean, that's stuff that,
And I know the water is only used to cool the units around it.
right,
The one on fire, they just basically let it burn. They suppress what they can, but there's no putting it out.
right.
I got a drawing from Mike way back when, this was a couple years ago, and shows the layout of the batteries and the driveways coming in. His concern was that there weren't two entrances and exits. If this is the way it's laid out and the wind is blowing these
Right.
poisonous gases over the driveway, well, a volunteer fireman isn't gonna drive through it. You couldn't expect him to. So now we have no exit. We have no. So I think that's something we have to look at for the second one, among other things, but we gotta get started on it.
So Yakuza doesn't have SCBA's and, full face masks?
Yeah, I think we do.
Yeah, so you would be able to fight it.
Well, no. But that's my solar question of the day.
Alright.
We could maybe look into it more at the next meeting.
Yeah, we'll have it on, the list for the next agenda. Alright, information and announcements from PC members. I never do this, so Laurel, I'll start with you. You have anything?
What?
Do you have any information or announcements?
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
what did we approve last meeting for the board
Oh,
members?
I told them before,
Did you
we,
tell the whole board about it?
maybe not. We approved our contract with the, Wisconsin Rapids
No,
Fire Department. Which one?
raise.
Did you?
Oh, no, I'm gonna do, I'm taking that.
Oh, you're doing that? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that.
He's gonna do that.
What was the contract amount for with the?
It's, so we have a contract with the, 2 years remaining, this year and next year at $26 per capita, for ambulance. The mayor came back in June, he approached me and he thought it would be $125 per capita to continue coverage. And I said, no. I said, we'll figure something out, but no, I'm not taking that back to the people.
Well, that's unacceptable.
Well, it is. However, to be honest, and I told him the same thing, the coverage is impeccable. We have the best ambulance service. They do fantastic work for us. Okay,
I just haven't had my bus last week. They do not.
granted,
They do.
there are other entities we could choose, but there is not another entity close by that can service us. We're too big and, well, there's too many of us. So basically, we're kind of stuck and they kind of know we're stuck. So we were coming up with another idea. Chase and I and Carl, I don't know if you were involved in this or not, but not at the beginning, but we were trying to figure out other ideas and we came up with a co-op and maybe that's what brought the building plans all together, was separating this building from the other building and utilizing this for EMS, possible future, an ambulance and a sleeping bay. There's a lot of things we had to think about because we knew the city possibly was not going to offer any other municipality the opportunity to be serviced by them. So we were trying to think outside the box. And when the mayor, especially when he came in with this price, there's no way. And it just happened to be the cost of what both solar entities would bring in.
So what did we end up with? I mean,
We ended up with 57 or 56? $56,
56.
per capita.
$56 per capita with a 7% annual increase based on a formula,
Maximum.
a maximum of 7% increase yearly based on a formula. However, that 7% starts this year,
For how many years?
indefinitely. The thing is, the 7% starts this year, but we don't
We don't pay it.
pay the 7%. We pay the 26 for this year and next year. But the 7% is added on this year and next year. So on the year that we start, we will be paying 14 to 21% already.
Higher than what we're paying now.
Yes. Higher than the 56. So potentially it's going to get expensive.
But there's not a set date on like a 4-year contract, 5-year
Nope.
contract.
No, we have a 1-year out policy, so that 1-year notice we're out, or 1-year notice they're out. We directly negotiated with Ben Boudreau, who is the head of the ambulance service, the EMS, and we feel we got the best bang for our buck. We went through like 5 contracts before we come up with this one.
Well, what was the explanation why they thought they had an increase of 400% from 26 to 126 or whatever?
They lost one of their main players, Jason Doling. He moved, and he was very intricate to their program. He did a lot of the training, a lot of the scheduling, he did a lot of everything. So when they replaced him with like 3 people, and then they decided to buy 3 ambulances. And it all comes at a price. An ambulance is $1
So
million.
everybody that used them got that same increase, pretty much.
Mhm. Yeah.
Patty, have you heard anything out in Coosa? I was gonna talk to Hamilton the other day and never got a chance.
Well, they use Rapids, don't they?
Right, yeah, I was just wondering if you've heard rumors of anything. with them.
Of all the contracts that they offer, I only know of one that refused them. And that's Viren.
Darren went with United.
Viren.
Which is
Um,
United Emergency out on 54.
United it can't service us. We're too big.
Yeah, I'd be a little iffy on that
Well,
one.
they already have Siegel also.
Yeah.
they have some
So,
away, a couple. Maybe.
but they had to sign Saratoga because we're the biggest, and without us, everybody else would pay a lot more. So that's why they were on us. They actually called me the day after Christmas at home.
What is our population today?
5,027, somewhere around there. We're over 5,000, just barely.
So we've lost, in the last 10 years, we've lost population.
No, we gained.
You know, it was
We
like
were-
5,100 at one time.
Yeah, but then we were almost under 5,000, and that 5,000 is a big mark according to state statutes. Everything, yeah, your board wouldn't be as big, our board wouldn't be as big. 5,000 is the clincher. It comes in play with grants, all kinds of stuff.
So I thought at one time, like I say, about 10 years ago, I thought it was over.
In, I believe
51.
15 years ago, and I'm just trying to do the math, how long I've been on the board, and it had been declining for 15 years. Alright, so maybe 15 years ago was 5,200 and whatever.
5185 or something like that.
There was a couple of years where it increased a little bit, but the trend was going down. And I don't know, I haven't seen that, and I'll talk about that. So,
Yep.
Cause I question that.
25 minutes if it's them to get to my house.
Yeah, so the population has been declining as a,
I could have
Trap.
had her in the car and already getting service
Alright,
at before that ambulance got
that was that information.
and
That's all I got.
the
Okay.
first
Angie, you got any?
And I
Dan?
think-
No.
Rob, do you have more information?
No,
Christie,
No,
did you yield your time?
I yield.
No, I don't have.
I don't.
Ready? Alright, so I have a couple of things. Thank you for yielding your time to me, but I'll make it quick. Because we talked about the ambulance contract. This was presented to us today. On this, I saw something interesting. Average emergent response time is 8 minutes and 28 seconds. Before he left, that meeting that we were in, I said, can you explain where you come up with that number? I said, is that from first page to arrival, or where is this 828? This 828 is from out the door of their facility to on scene. He also, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lorelei or Carl, he also said what isn't figured into this 828 is the amount of time the caller's on with 911, because they triage to determine who to send and where to send them.
Sure.
He said that's roughly 2 to 3 minutes. Sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 1 minute. What he called shoot time.
Yep.
Is from the time of page to leaving their facility.
Sure.
He said the average shoot time is 1 minute and 40 seconds. And then the 828 is a response time. He said, add those up. He said, if you're the one needing the emergency, that 8 minutes seems like forever, right?
No.
And he said, with the 911 triage time and the shoot time and the response time, it's not uncommon to be 13, 18 minutes. So, is that pretty accurate
Yep.
depiction of what he discussed or explained?
Yep.
So, I did hear,
It was a lot longer than that.
was it?
Sure was.
And that was just recently?
Sunday. Last Sunday. And granted, I am on the far edge of Saratoga, but I could have had my child to the ER before. We didn't get first responder. They said first responder is going to be there first, looking for them because the ambulance will be a bit. By the time the ambulance got there, I could have had her in the ER already getting up there.
Do you know what the time was?
I could go back and look.
Well, that could be debatable too.
Yeah,
If you
it
took her
will.
to the ER. That's a whole nother
You
story.
could get her there in
You
12
could get her
minutes.
there, but
Get
yeah.
her there in 12 minutes. She
They
wouldn't
come
look
in
at
an ambulance, but I mean,
Right.
life or death is.
Right. I mean, if
Yeah.
it was a situation where
Yeah.
she needed emergent care immediately.
That's a little scary.
Josh, did he
Yeah.
say how many
Very
in stock at each fire station ambulance? that
I
can
don't-
respond?
We didn't ask for like personnel numbers.
Because, if you had 2 out, you have another. There's stuff like that.
Right.
Train cuts off rapids and then
I'd get 3 more.
And that was discussed too. Like if what happens if all the years are tied up. Like obviously the response time is going to go up, and he said that's when mutual aid would come into play. Where did he
I'm
say
sure United is with mutual aid. is what
United
it is.
or Lifestar?
let's say that's another call, another outdoor time,
Right.
the whole thing.
But a majority of them would probably come from the one by the old Shopco, right?
I would think.
And then they would have West Side
Right.
tobacco coming
So
that
and that's
way.
what they
Yeah.
do now. If they have more than one unit leave Station 1, Station 2 comes over and covers.
Okay.
If they can get across the track.
Because I'm pretty sure Nakusa, they come down the highway to go into Nakusa.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they go by a lot. So I don't think they come from the west side.
So I do know in my experience that when Station 1 is busy, that side is covered by Station 2 and vice versa. If they are both out for some reason, then in the past it was like covered by Nakusa or something like that. They were like put on standby or whatever.
Did he say how many calls the town had last year?
In 2025, there were 298 calls.
I wonder how many calls the old folks home in Coosa gets a year,
No, I'm not sure.
just for pickups.
He did say the number one reason for response in the town of Saratoga in those 298 calls, 60 of them were falls. Lift assist or,
And about half were transported.
yeah, of those 60, approximately half of them were transferred.
I just think it's a little disingenuous to put 8 point whatever in there as a number of how fast, because people would see that and they'd be like, holy cow. I mean, that's not realistic.
Well, that's why I asked. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm
if you
glad you
list
did.
all those other things and
Yeah,
say
and
average 13
give an
minutes.
average, not.
mileage from
Yeah.
my house to Station 2, right? The east side is 2,
I think
or
so, yeah.
no, that's 1.
I
And
think
then
he's.
west side is 2. The mileage from my house to that station, and the speed that I usually drive.
Right?
I don't think I can get there in 8 minutes and 20
Right.
seconds.
Yeah, I just would have liked to have seen them give a
Yeah.
actual realistic.
But that's the average. You're looking at Lake Air compared to
Well, that's just
Chester.
it.
Well, and that's it too, but I mean, like they were saying, you have to add this, you add that, then they said right out, the average is more, what did you say 15 to 18 or?
Well, if
13 to
you,
18?
yeah, the triage time, the shoot time, and the
Yeah, I
trail
mean, that's a more realistic for, a resident that visits the average time, because that's not.
So based on the numbers you gave me, they made $438 per call. That's taking the cost per capita times the population, divided it by the number of calls.
That was their
Yeah.
income per call
Yeah. That's
Before
pretty
they-
reasonable.
Before they
before
charge.
they
Yeah,
before
build
they paid their
the,
people.
before they build the patient.
Right.
Does the village of Port Edwards ever have a student?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe,
Yes,
Yeah,
So
everybody
really
does.
in this area.
Seneca,
except for Barry.
Buren, yeah.
And
except
Rome
for
has
Buren
their
now.
own, right?
Real has their own, yeah.
And I think he mentioned Lifestar. Is
He did.
Rome.
Yeah, it must be, because I saw one of their vehicles yesterday.
So what do you mean by Lakestar?
Lifestar,
Just the-
The-
Come out of-
like United,
Doing them
private.
So they don't have their
I don't
own
know,
in-house
somewhere on that.
ambulance
French-
service down there?
Does Lifestar keep a rig in?
They used to.
I don't know if
Okay.
they do. but
Okay.
I thought that they kept a rig on the.
There was a discussion this summer that they were gonna pull it back. And I can tell you why, because they spend part of the time buying potatoes and shopping.
All right. Okay, so that's that. We got that taken care of. And then we, as plan commission members, we do quite a bit as far as like the zoning. We've been pretty busy lately. And I tried to get us compensated better for that. In doing that, I was able to get an increase of $10 per meeting per diem for the acting chair and acting secretary of each meeting.
Mm.
And in lieu of a per diem increase for the whole plan commission, instead of the per diem increase, if we had a per diem increase, it would be more than what the town board themselves make per diem per meeting.
Yeah.
Instead of a per diem increase, as plan commission members, we're now authorized to add an additional $30 onto our time cards for monthly expenses. Printer ink, Word, whatever you, paper, whatever it is. So when we fill out our time cards, we'll put our $40 per diem for the meeting.
Mhm.
And then down on the bottom under expenses, put that additional 30
Now, is that once per year?
per
Once
meeting.
a month.
Month, yes. Well, yes, per month. So,
Well,
We couldn't give you more than the board.
right.
I didn't join this for the cash anyway.
So every month we're supposed to put that, or do you
Yep.
need like receipts of stuff that we?
No,
Every month you put that in.
as long as you attend the meeting.
So essentially, the monthly pay for a plan commission member went from $40 to $70. So,
Appreciate it.
and that starts this meeting. So, when you said you were gonna fill out Adam's form,
Does he get 50 then,
Yep.
plus 30?
yep, 50 and 30, yep.
Okay.
And then we'll do 40 for the per diem, and then 30 for monthly expenses. That being said, I wanted to make that announcement before I handed these out, so you didn't fill them out.
Because we always fill them out as we speak.
Right.
Yeah, well, thank you, Josh.
Thank you
Yes.
very much.
And
then
you can note,
Thank you, town board.
Yeah, on board too.
Yes, that was approved by the town board at the last meeting.
That was,
just one note then is that the fee schedule for public hearings and things were set up on the cost of the plan commission. So might be something to look at to, I mean, right,
Yeah.
you were looking at some fees for.
Like these zoning fees and stuff?
Yep. Yep, all those fees were set up for, just to cover the cost of the
So it's.
plan commission meeting
That's 40 and 30.
initially, that's
Just
what
about the
all
expenses,
those
yeah.
established, so maybe,
We might put verbiage in there, the cost of the attendance of the plan commission instead of an actual fee. So,
Good idea.
yeah, that way it could be flexible and, but with talking about the fees, you know, maybe jack the fee up more for public hearings and different things. I don't, maybe what your idea is there too, I don't know, but
Okay.
just for history, that's where the fee initially came from.
I know.
They said.
That was all I had for announcements, so. Item number 10, items for future meeting. As of right now, I have, I'm gonna put it down as possible review of operation ordinance draft, because maybe we'll have something to add to it or fix. But
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
right
'cause we
now
were
it's-
looking at both the, I wrote it down. What we were still looking at.
Well, the application and.
Oh, the application
The
and the fees.
violation or
And the violation.
The amount or.
Right.
Yeah,
after,
So we're gonna get some kind of wording.
Statute.
on
and other
those.
fees of what, yeah.
so, possible operation ordinance draft revision.
Yep,
Um,
perfect.
that's gonna be one item, and solar project updates will be also on there. Town building updates that's kind of a revolving thing that
Are
will be on
you gonna do it next month or are you gonna skip that one or?
there. That's what I wanted to discuss, with the operation ordinance going to the town board next week. We're pretty, I mean, we're where we wanna be, right? I mean, not where we wanna be, but we're
Yeah, basically.
we're adequately covered, I think, right? Would everybody agree with that? So that being said, we have at least 2 members that won't be able to make it next month. Do we want to,
I won't be here either,
okay,
sorry.
so do we want to not have a meeting in February and come back in March?
Yeah.
Is that,
As long as we don't have any CSMs or anything coming through, we would have to have.
so in the event of a CSM, in the event the CSM would not be able to wait until March,
Right,
then we would have a special meeting, correct? Is that how that would work? or
you just have a regular meeting,
just have-
you just have to schedule your meeting and then you guys,
Yeah, I would think if the CSM comes in within a week of our scheduled meeting, but
right,
for being in that profession for a while, ain't no way I wanna be out there in this kind of weather.
Would it be more practical to keep it scheduled and cancel it the week prior if nothing comes in? Or to cancel it,
you don't have enough people to make your meeting.
oh, because we have 2 going. So then how would we be able to have the meeting anyway?
Oh, you could, I guess, you got enough voting.
Well,
Plus you changed the date
Yeah.
in February.
There's only 2 gone.
And you can just, skip the meeting, if you need to have a meeting, gosh, you know.
So, yeah, so I mean, we can, as long as we notice a meeting and we feel like we have to have one, towards the end of this month, if we decide that, hey, we should probably be here in February, I'll send out a notice and we'll,
Or if the CFM comes.
Right.
CFM.
but otherwise, I think we should,
We're gonna go to March then?
yep, March 11th. Six PM. All right, March 11th at 6 PM. We've got the normal revolving items on the agenda. Yeah. I got nothing else. Anybody else got anything? If not, I would entertain
I'll make it.
motion by Dan to adjourn,
I'll second.
second by Patty, all in favor,
Okay.
opposed? Motion carries, 8:34.
Good meeting.
Guys, I'm gonna send this to you via email. There's no way I can print this out.